What's up, everybody? This is Coach Stefano from Stefano's Training Systems. I recently got some good feedback on my book, Untold Soccer Secrets, and to everyone that bought a copy, I really appreciate it. And also to everyone who's read it and gave me feedback on it, I really appreciate it. There's been a lot of people that told me, that the second half of the book where we talk about, what youth soccer was like in New Jersey, going through academies, college soccer, and all that. A lot of people were alarmed by some of the stuff that was in it, and I wanted to touch on some of those things, right? Soccer in the U.S., at least on the men's side, is always going to remain stagnant, and here are the reasons why. To play at a high level in the United States, it costs too much money. To play at a good level in the United States, it costs too much money. So they exclude people who don't have enough wealth to play soccer, okay? Soccer without business is the world's game. So how did we make it so you have to pay thousands of dollars to, okay, right? So let's say you actually find your way into one of these academy soccer teams, right? Here's some of the things that we talk about in the book, right? So one of the rules that one of the academy coaches had when I was there was this. You have to stand at least 30 to 40 yards away from the field during the practice, right? None of the parents knew the coach before the season. Throughout the season, a couple parents kept talking to him, whatever. One person, their dad was a surgeon or something, so obviously they had a good amount of money. They didn't know the guy before the season, but after the season, they were at the guy's wedding. Right? How does that make any sense if you're supposed to stay 40 yards away from the field during practice? Right? So obviously there was some kind of weird exchange there that no one else got to see, and guess who's playing in the games undeservedly? Right? Obviously the kid whose parents were at the wedding, even though the kid wasn't that good at soccer anyway, right? So you guys pay thousands of dollars to finally get on one of these high status teams to play, and then you get left behind because somebody who has a little bit more wealth and you can pay their way to play on these teams, right? And I'm sure that's not the case on every team and on every academy, but in soccer, that's what tends to happen the most often, right? You're in an environment, the environment is dominated by people who are savages and don't care to find the truth, right? The truth was that kid was not good enough, right? So instead of trying to get better at soccer, they just paid more money, right? So when I was growing up in the youth system, I was on one of these academies, right? And I was always working so hard to get better at soccer, right? My dad did not accept the idea that you have to, bother the coach, pay more money, because if you're actually good, you should get playing time. If you actually work hard, you'll get the playing time. So here I was working my ass off to be able to one day play in the game, right? And I knew I was better than these kids because I practiced when we did one-on-one drills, I would toast them. And if any of you guys who don't, you don't believe that play me again right now and I'll still toast you, right? I still believe in my foot skills and my footwork, but so I was better than these kids, right? And I still wasn't getting playing time, and we were paying thousands of dollars, right? Now, these academies, they make you believe that without the academy system, you can't play college soccer, right? Or at least get a scholarship for college soccer. I got some good news for you guys, right? Playing college soccer does not help you play professional soccer. By playing college soccer, you're going to give up 4 years of your life, and you're going to play so much soccer in such a small amount of time that you're going to pick up injuries and stuff. That's going to make it harder for you guys to play in the future, right? If you guys are actually serious about getting better at soccer and playing professional, if I knew this sooner, I would have done this. Don't go and play college soccer, right? If you're going to college, focus on your education, right? If you want to play professional first. The education will always be there. The Division I college scholarships, they only give out 9.9 scholarships, right? So that means not everyone's going to get a full ride, and the money's going to be spread very thin. So even if you go to a school that gives you 50% scholarship, right, half off, and the school's 40 grand, you're still paying 20 grand a year. Over 4 years, that's 80 grand? 80 grand that you have to pay out of pocket eventually, right? So you're better off going to a Division III college soccer team and paying 7 grand a year and actually being able to get rid of your student loans and get actual playing time, right? Because here's what the Division One college soccer teams do: they bring in guys from other countries to make it look like their program is substantial. And even if these guys suck and aren't as good as the players that they have in America, they have to play these guys because they're paying them all this money in the scholarships to play. So even if you're better than these guys, right? The political power of soccer, I love it, right? These guys are going to play more than you, and you're going to watch these guys play, and they're going to be ones with the scholarship money, even though they don't give a shit about the program, and they're most likely going to use the coach, maybe switch colleges, right? You see it all the time with these guys. So back to what I was saying. Soccer, men's soccer in America is going to remain stagnant because there's too much corruption and not enough focus on the actual game, right? In Spain, you play small-side soccer until you're about 14 or 15. Then you go to 11v11. In America, they have players at 12 and 13 years old playing 11v11, and they make the field too big too soon, right? It's proven that in futsal, 5v5, small field, you touch the ball 500% more than the big field, 11v11, right? On 11v11 field, you only touch the ball 1.11% of the time in the game. So that's not enough time on the field in the game making decisions to actually get good enough to play in soccer. But in America, we like to commercialize everything. So instead of actually making it small-sided so the kids can get better and they get the proper training, it's got to be, we play 11v11, we play on the big field, we are of this status, we play for this academy, right? And this is not going to help soccer in America get better. If we look at countries like Brazil, right, who don't have the greatest infrastructure in the world, right? They're not an economic powerhouse. What do they do all day, every day? They play small-sided games. So that's 500% more time they touch the ball in a live game scenario, making decisions, making plays on the dribble, pass and shoot, defending, right? Then if you guys were to play 11v11, not to mention that for them to play in a decent quality pickup game, it's a lot easier. So check this out, right? This is the best part. Academy soccer, you practice 3 to 4 times a week, an hour and a half each time, maybe even 2 hours, right? Then on the weekend, you have to drive somewhere really far and pay a lot of money for a hotel, gas, all that stuff, just for this, right? Just for the guy who didn't work on his foot skills, but their dad pays the guy to play over you. You get about 2 minutes, maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky, right? Maybe half the game if you're lucky. And then you got to drive all the way home, right? So you played for a total, let's say you play both halves, right? 40 minutes, 50 minutes, even 60 minutes. 60 minutes of playing time on 11v11 field where you touch the ball 1.11% of the time when you're on the field, right? If you compare that to just going to a park and playing a pickup game in a small-sided game, and you go to the park, all you need is a banana, maybe some peanut butter, a ball, and you play for 5 hours, and you make more decisions, and maybe you play against guys that are older than you, stronger than you, you're going to end up getting a lot better, a lot faster in soccer, right? But do people respect people who work hard outside of that elitist academy thing? No, right? Everyone's brainwashed to playing academy soccer, and if I'm on this team, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get the scholarship, right? You're barely going to get a scholarship unless you're coming from another country or unless you're the top of the absolute top coming out of high school. You're most likely not going to get a scholarship. And you're going to end up spending more money trying to play Division I college soccer than you are going to play, Division III college soccer. And a lot of Division III college soccer teams do beat Division I college soccer teams. But college soccer is not good if you want to play professional soccer. It reduces the amount of time you have to play pro. It reduces... you're more likely to get injured during that time. And, college would always be there. So if you do want to play pro, consider trying the pro route right away. But in America, playing professional soccer is a very difficult thing to do because if you don't have these political connections and the power behind yourself, it's very hard to build into one of these teams, right? All these teams, no one wants to talk about this, right? All these teams have an oligarchy, a central power within the team. You even probably see it on your local travel and academy teams. There's a central power on the team. The guy knows the coach, this, that. There's a couple different connections, and these people keep the power amongst themselves. Whenever an outsider comes in to try out, they're most likely going to cut them, make them pay for the tryout, and then cut them, right? And that's just the way soccer works. But if you're hell-bent on playing professional soccer or college soccer, it's important to consider, should you pick the academy route or not, right? And this ties back into why it's going to remain stagnant in America. Playing academy soccer, you're going to play amongst peers that are pretty good, but you're more likely to get screwed out of playing time. You're more likely to get screwed out of a lot of money. And these other countries, right, some food for thought here, that go and play small side all day, they're going to always be better than the kids in our academies here. And those kids probably don't even play with shoes on. All right, so, again, for everyone that, gave me good feedback about this book, I thought that was an important point to make coming out of the book, how, academies and college soccer, it's really a big scheme, almost a big scam, right? Potentially a big scam depending on who you are. And I thought, I put a video together just to voice some of my opinions and ideas and keep it real and keep it simple, right? What is real cannot be threatened, all right? I'll check you guys out on the next one. Peace.